This candle smells like my asshole.
Oh, fuck, you ruined it, Farty. I was hoping the audience would be left hanging to a joke that was just between the two of us behind the scenes. That you had to
Just
go
the
and
two of us.
if you have any failing, Farty, it's that you don't know when to stop.
Well, no one knows the beginning of the joke. I mean, like,
Oh,
wrecked him,
God.
and they killed him.
Oh. So, Farty, tell us the story of your drama today, since it is the headline topic.
Okie dokie. So, with the servo, I usually get me coffees at.
Mhm.
There was this little drama that I had with one of the staff and a manager.
Mhm.
Uh, Now, turns out I was in fact correct in my assessment, and one of the other staff members has also made a formal complaint about this fucking manager to HR,
Mhm.
to the point that he's actually asking for a transfer to make sure that he doesn't have to fucking put up with his dipshit anymore,
Ooh.
which is funny
Okay.
as fuck. And another staff member, Rita, who I got given shit for standing around talking to, well, she's a very talkative fucking person to an annoying point where she'll start asking questions, and then when you give, like, you get 2 words into the answer, she'll ask you another question. You never really
Okay.
fucking. Anyway, fucking, and the only reason why I was really talking to her that night was because, well, fucking, since the flood, they've taken this sweet ass fucking time getting the place back up and running, and they just had the some repairs being done on the place, and they only actually had one petrol bowser there, and everyone thought the fucking place was still closed. So she was bored off the fucking ass for like her shift. Anyway, um, yeah, fuck, yeah, she asked, "Oh, where were you last weekend?" Fucking, I said, "I got banned," and she goes, "Oh, why?" And she did the little lip wrist sort of action. She goes, "What? Because of?" And I'm like, "Well, sort of because of, but because
Hey,
of
Jelly
Dean as
Duck.
well." Hey, Jelly Duck. Anyway, fucking, so part of the ceasefire, pretty much,
Good, good, yeah.
is remembering that fucking I only defused this when I threatened to sue the shit out of them,
Yeah.
was that I wasn't to speak to staff, and staff aren't supposed to be paid to speak to me. I'm only supposed to go in and say pleasantries and only ask for reasonable requests like replenish the milk in the coffee machine and stuff like that, and then fuck off.
Right.
Well, funnily enough, the first night I go back in there, right, like 2 other people come in and strike up a fucking conversation, and like I'm thinking, fuck, I'm getting into trouble straight away.
Okay.
Now, this fucking stupid dickhead manager Dean, who's taken over doing the ordering for the place, has been fucking that up too. And the other day they ran out of milk.
Yeah. As they
And
are prone to do.
mm,
Because
now
Farty has to
normally,
constantly do milk runs for them.
well, yeah, normally I'd take it upon myself because, well, fucking, I want to continue the continuity of my own stuff. Fuck everybody else. Realistically,
Mhm.
I'm actually being altruistic, you know, and a veiled
You want your
fucking.
coffee and you want your milk for your coffee. So if they don't have milk, you'll go and get it yourself.
That's right. But I'm
Mhm.
also rather thoughtful, so I'll buy about like 8 fucking liters of milk just to make sure that there is stuff like there's milk for me. And I'll even say, yeah, fucking to the staff, yeah, it's up to you guys. Use
Mhm.
your own discretion. If you want to fucking let people have it, have it. No worries. Just let me know, and at least try and keep some for like when I show up.
Right.
And just keep me abreast of the situation so as I can, you know, ensure there's continuity for myself, which all the staff have been not a problems with. Previous managers have been perfectly fucking fine with it and all this, even though it's against company policy. Well, now the Coles is closed, and I got given heaps of shit for actually helping out and all this kind of stuff, and didn't tell them
Mhm.
about the milk because I kind of already knew that I'd probably get some managers into shit for allowing me to do so. But that was kind of part of the helping out that I used to do.
Right.
Anyway, fucking so Friday comes along and bing bing is on, And I already knew that was going to be the case from the night before because Justin told me. And he also informed me that there was only 2 bottles of milk left in the joint, and well, the Coles is still shut next door. So thinking, well, where would I go and get some milk? And Ben's going to be a dildo about it. So fucking here's
Fuck
some
'em.
malicious compliance coming along.
Yeah.
So I came in the next morning. I got like fucking 6 cups of coffee just to try and drain the fucking milk out. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be bloody funny, right? If fucking for the rest of the morning, the coffee machine was shut down and fucking everyone's going, oh, well, what happened to all the milk? And then Ben was fucking going to be left there trying having to explain to fucking everybody how like there's no milk in the joint and all this, and then people would like, well, where's Phil?
Yeah.
Why didn't he come along and fucking buy us some milk or fucking whatever? Either way, he's going to get bombarded with, "Hey, where's Phil?"
Right.
Because everyone needs a Phil. Anyway, fucking. Anyway, so I'm expecting there's going to be fucking complaints that fucking apparently I've gone around town and told everyone to go in and give Ben shit.
Right.
So, which wasn't actually the case. Um, So, like, yeah, the first night back, got involved in conversation. Every cunt's fucking still involving me in conversations and shit. And I've had no fucking option but to fucking get involved in these conversations because, well, what am I supposed to do? Say, I've got to be a fucking rude cunt now because management's a bunch of assholes and they don't want me being nice to everybody anymore. Because remember, the whole point was I was supposed to be antisocial, and
Yeah.
the solution to the problem was me being even more antisocial. I have these funny fucking circumstances where, like, yeah, people give me shit, and the way around getting me shit is to actually do the thing that was given me that everyone was giving me shit for in the first place, and that usually shuts people up.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I
so
forgot what I was going to
today,
say. Go ahead.
so today, right, go in for will be mid-morning coffees,
Hmm.
and one of the old blokes who usually just sort of pops by and sometimes comes in for a coffee and has a chin wag and all this kind of stuff came in. And he lamented about how someone had pinched his fucking phone and that he didn't have a license and that, he had to go into town and, how could he get the taxi and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, look, if you don't mind a dirty car, fucking, I'll run you into fucking Tari and fucking, well, I'll sort you out. I'll help you go grab a phone and fucking set it up for you and all this.
Right.
And he's like, oh, sure, you sure? Like, you got nothing else? No. I got nothing else better to do. Because, well, fuck, I didn't know you were going to get on wanting to do a show and shit. And it's like the famous last words. Yeah. No cunt needs me at the moment. So yeah, ran him into town and fucking went and got a cheap ass phone from Coles, and it's the first time in a good long while I had to set one up from scratch. So it took a little
Right.
bit, and went to the Telstra store and made sure it was all up and running before we came back to Wingham and fucking, dropped him off there and, get back and bloody, it was just on shift change. So Julian and fucking Rita were there. So, of course, I got involved in another conversation and all this kind of shit. So basically, all the stuff I've been told not to do, fucking pretty much every cunt's been making
Yeah.
me fucking do anyways. So I'm expecting to get heaps of fucking shit for that as well.
Right.
Uh, so that's basically where I was yesterday while fucking, like literally like 5 minutes after I walked out of the house just to go and grab coffees, you messaged me saying, yep, want to do a show? 4 hours later, I came back and like, fuck, I was out.
Like I said, it's all good because, like, while about an hour after I sent it, I'm like, he's probably sleeping or he's probably in town.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And I hung around for a little while longer, and I didn't leave the studio until my gut started going, "Hey, guess what time it is?" In which case I'm like, yeah. And then I spent another hour on the toilet because of, new meds. Um, And then at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, I should say, I was woken up for another bout of violent diarrhea. Thanks, new meds. And I spent another hour and a half on the toilet. My legs went numb. All right. They were just fucking just by the time I got up. I literally, by the time I was done shitting, I stood up and I fell forward. All right. There's about this much room after you stand up between your face and the wall. And I just went pop. I didn't even have time to get my hands up, and my head was like slightly dinged against the wall. And I'm like, well, this is inconvenient.
Yeah, I fucking hate it when my fucking feet go fucking sitting on the shitter for a fucking long time because my
Yeah.
ankles are that fucked, right? They'll just cave in underneath me. And it's not that that hurts or anything like that because I've sprained my
Yeah, it's just
ankles
there's
so
no
many
fear,
fucking times.
there's no blood flow, so it's like everything's waiting to restart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I've fallen fucking flat in my fucking face fucking from that because first time it happened, I wasn't ready for it, and like I've rolled my ankles that many bloody times, they just
Yeah.
fucking cave in underneath me sometimes, and fucking couldn't even bloody feel that my ankles were in the wrong spot, and they just went and rolled the wrong way, and it was like whoop. I'm like,
Yep.
oh
This
shit.
is happening.
Yeah.
And then I spent another, was it 3 hours, 3.5 hours with stomach cramps because of all the shitting. So yay. Thanks, new meds.
So this
Hey,
is like the warning that they give with all the yank meds is like may cause anal leakage.
motherfucker, this ain't anal leakage. My asshole is a chocolate fire hydrant.
May cause anal nuclear explosions.
I thought I was going to take off last night, to be honest with you, dude. I thought I was
Hey,
going to get some fucking air because of the thrust coming out of it. And it was all water, too. It's all water that I'm just shitting out.
yeah, best part about that though is that fucking
It'll flush
if
all the
someone
fat cells with it.
no, if someone tries to mug you, all you have to do is turn around, bend over, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? The Astro Boy impression. But
um,
I was watching this fucking interview with the bloke who plays House. Uh,
Hugh Laurie.
yeah, that's the guy. Fucking, he was in Africa doing this thing, and there was a lion, and he asked the fucking lion tamer or whatever the fuck, like the bloody wildlife fucking monkey, fucking. So what happens if it charges me? He goes, "Oh, that's all right, Mister Sir. You will just throw some poop at it." And he goes, "Well, where the fuck am I going to get some poop from?" And the wildlife monkey goes, "Don't you worry, you will find some." So at least if you get attacked by a lion,
You just throw some shit at it. Yeah. Oh, fuck me. But
fuck,
yeah, this new medication, the one I'm on is supposed to help me like help my metabolism kick in and help weight loss. And I'm just like, whatever, I don't care.
kind of.
And huh?
There's a fucking shit. Can't remember what the actual procedure is called, but it's sort of similar to where they take out like fucking 20 feet of your intestines and stuff like that, and
Oh
then they
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
reduce your
shocking.
stomach size by about 2/3, and then sort of like you can't eat as much, but you also can't digest it as well.
Right, yeah.
Right?
You're talking a gastric bypass. Well, not the bypass, not the gastric part. I think they call it an intestinal bypass.
It's a laparoscopy, something, some shit like
Yeah.
that. Anyway, yeah,
But the layman is the layman term for it is like intestinal bypass or some shit like that. It's some sort of bypass.
so that's actually a concerning thing that I'm sort of looking at now. My memory is that fucked. Like I'm forgetting a lot of like terms and shit like that, and I'm fucking dreading the day that I fucking remember a procedure that I might have to do, like out in the middle of nowhere or something like that on some cunt. And
Mm.
that's actually part of my mental health problems because every fucking incident that I go to and stuff like that, I'm constantly fucking thinking about it for fucking days and weeks on end, making
Yeah.
sure that I didn't fuck anything up.
It's like, I've got a Capri Sun straw and a butterfly knife. This guy is choking, and I have to open the airway, and it's the only way. What is that thing I need to do called? Why am I holding these things again?
Yeah, bloody tracheotomy. Oh, it's more other things like, oh, did I miss signs and symptoms of other, injuries like, maybe internal bleeding or fucking stuff like that.
You know what's
Ah,
funny, Farty? You know what's funny
mm,
about that whole little section there
mm.
is you answered my rhetorical question with an actual answer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've never had to do a tracheotomy, but it's fairly elementary in a thing, and I'm not
Yeah,
going
you
to
poke a
state
hole, you shove a thing in there, and you make them breathe through their
it's a
through
little
the
bit
hole.
more involved than that. It's like, yeah, where they.
Listen, if I
So,
can't oversimplify it for the sake of oversimplifying it, hoping someone fucks it up.
that's why I wasn't going to say how you do it because there's a very fine line between slicing some cunt's neck open and fucking doing an actual tracheotomy. That's why they tell you not to do shit like that unless you've been
Yeah,
taught how to do it properly.
right. I was taught I had to take a first aid course in high school in ninth grade. I was taught if you ever have to do a tracheotomy that you start up here and they make an incision about this big just to get to the because if you go up here, you're more likely to get the uh the bronchial than you are just going right into their neck
Yeah,
and fucking something up.
yeah.
And
There's
you only
also
make
another,
an incision like less than a quarter inch long.
yeah, and there's also another reason why you heat the knife up as well. It's not so much to
Hmm.
sterilize it, but it's also to cauterize it so you don't have a bleeding wound.
Yeah.
Because if you do that and they're bleeding into their larynx and all that kind of stuff, you'll just fill the lungs up with blood and drown 'em.
So Farty, listen, I understand how to do the procedure, but if I can't oversimplify it in the hopes someone fucks it up, what else? What other joy do I have in life, Farty? if
Yeah, well, oh,
if
yeah.
I can't be a god of chaos, then what what is the point of life?
Well, speaking of fucking things up, and for anybody who's going to listen to this in the future and they haven't figured out yet what the fucking thing with media manipulation and all this kind of shit is, in Victoria at the moment, we're on day 6 of an entire army trying to find one fucking dude who shot 3 cops fucking 6 days ago.
To be fair, the Australian army did lose a war to the emus.
Well, the thing is, like I said, it's an army of cops, not the actual army. And I'm thinking they should have sent the fucking army in because at least the army knows how to patrol and track fucking cunts in the bush. These cunts couldn't find a fucking this dude with like 4 fucking helicopters, 2 states worth of
They
fucking tactical response groups, half a fucking state's worth of fucking cops, and fucking thermal bloody images.
so what
And
you're
it's
saying
fucking snowing.
so what you're saying is they couldn't find a needle in a haystack if the haystack was made out of needles.
They couldn't find a fucking lime green dildo on a fucking NBA court or WNBA court while the camera's
Oh,
looking at it. Like,
Christ.
it's fucking hilarious, right? But the fucking news is trying to paint him out to be like some super duper paratrooper fucking special forces extraordinaire, but at the same time he's a nut job fucking sovereign citizen, fucking neo-Nazi, fucking God knows bloody what. And he was even like on a current affair fucking like since 2019, 2021 or something like that, complaining
Mhm.
about his neighbours giving him shit Like they moved in this country fucking town, and then some fucking bogans moved in next door and were harassing them. And then now it's a case of like current affairs, like our reporter went out and spoke to a murderer, and oh, his life was in so much peril. No, it fucking wasn't. Jesus fucking Christ! And they played some of the bloody footage from the original story, and it's like clearly you're on this cunt's fucking side before, you fucking assholes.
Right.
So apparently they went, oh yeah, and oh yeah, they went to serve a warrant on him, and then now they're also talking shit, saying, oh, it was because he was rooting a 14-year-old and all this. I'm like, okay, rightio. This sounds like you're just trying to make him out to be the worst cunt on the planet because, oh well, he shot 2 cops dead and fucking 1 wounded, and
Yeah.
then fucked off into the bush. And yeah, like I said, like they even brought like cops from New South Wales down, like the tactical response group from there, with their helicopters. So there's like 3 or 4 helicopters trying to find this cunt in the bush with thermal images and shit. And yeah, it's just fucking started snowing. And they're like, last night they're talking about like, oh, he's in some secret bunker somewhere, and he's like sophisticated bunker systems, and fucking, oh, he's a survival expert, and fucking, oh, you can survive out there for fucking months and all this kind of shit. And I'm thinking, I might as well just drive down there. I'll probably find him myself, just chuck him in the boot of my car and get the fuck out of there. And I bet you $10 I wouldn't be harassed by the cops at all.
Right.
But I don't think he's even there anymore. Like, all they really had to do, and I was talking to Dylan about this, and he goes, "Yeah, but the stupid fucking cops would have trampled all over the area." And it's like, just look for tracks. Oh yeah, but they probably fucked all the tracks up. It's like, just do a spiral search until you get to the perimeter of where everyone's fucking been treading, and then just find the one track that's fucking leading out of the joint.
Yeah, there you go. Did you hear about the latest school shooting over here in the States, Farty?
Oh yeah, some dude who looks like that fucking thing from that movie with Cher in it called The Mask. And fucking, but he apparently went to like, the same Catholic school, and fucking he finally realised he was never going to be a woman and decided to take it out on a bunch of kids or some shit. And his fucking
Yeah.
mother's a piece of shit, fucking saying
Another
all sorts of shit too.
another trans kid shoots up a school. Congratulations, reset the clock. Why do we need gun control laws when it's just right-leaning people who are going to violate the law anyway, and we make more laws?
Well, see, this is the problem with all of this, and this is what I've been trying to explain about this fucking Ben kid. Is that he's exactly the whole thing, and it's sort of kind of lucky we don't have fucking guns out here because, well, there's a couple of schools just in town where I reckon it'd be yeah, he'd probably shoot the fucking joint up. But like the wonders of the internet, and unfortunately you can't get away from this shit on YouTube where fucking it's all over the bloody joint. If they're not
Mhm.
for it, people are talking about it, and you you have these cunts who fucking are getting brought up where they've never been told that they're wrong about anything, and they've never been corrected. And when you do correct them, it's akin to fucking murder. Um, they've never been told no. So when you do tell them no, it's like, oh my god, it's an arrestable offence and all this kind of shit. We're getting that here, and the teachers are perpetuating it, just like over in the States. Um, Even to the point where there's a couple of fucking kindergarten places that are like, stocking books on fucking, yeah. Here's Lucy. She's a lesbian. Let's teach that to 5-year-olds. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, fucking asshole? But like, they're worried about this kid being fucking Ben getting fucking you know teased pretty much. And I'm
Right.
fucking sort of trying to say, hey, this little cunt needs to fucking think himself lucky because back in my day, bullying was fucking beating the fuck out of each other, not fucking just saying nasty words and shit like that.
Yeah, there was a
And
lot more to bullying than just being mean to someone.
yeah, and with the poofs, right, it was a case of, yeah, sticks and stones will break your bones, but don't go to the cops because they'll thump the fuck out of you too and kick you off a cliff into the fucking Pacific Ocean, which used to fucking actually happen.
Yeah.
Poof bashing was a thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, Fucking,
Even in the UK, even in the UK, again,
mm,
I mentioned this a little while ago. They were uh gay bashing up until like the mid 90s. Like
yeah,
literally gay bashing until the mid 90s. That's 1994 to 96 is when they stopped doing it.
Well, fuck, it was an arrestable offence in Australia up until the late 70s, and
Yeah.
the gay Mardi Gras was the whole point
It
of that, was those
yeah.
bloody protest police brutality.
Well, they called it buggery laws or anti-buggery laws, and they
Yep,
were still on the books until the late 90s
yep. And that's why the
in the
term, like,
UK.
that's why, like, where we
Mm.
say bugger, it's a kind of like a swear word kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'll be buggered. So I'll literally translate, I'll be fucked in the ass if I'm going to do that. Like,
Right.
go bugger yourself, go fuck yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, bugger, well, fuck, well,
Right.
ass fuck.
Yeah.
Um, but they're that fucking brainwashed and shit like that, to the point that people who have already been through it and gone through the
Mhm.
surgeries and all this kind of stuff and have had the things go wrong for them, when
Right.
they turn around and say, hey, here's a warning, don't fucking do this kind of stuff because this is what happens. And it happens in 90% of the in the situations, because it's sort of kind of like when ADHD became a thing. Like, I got diagnosed through the Dr. Serpentine clinic back in like 1984.
Right.
And back then I had to go into the clinic and fucking have brain scans and fucking concentration tests and fucking IQ tests and all this kind of shit before they even put me on Ritalin. And then all of a sudden it became a recognized thing, and every fucking GP under the sun is like, oh, your son's a bit rambunctious. Oh, he's got ADHD. He have some Ritalin, that'll calm him down. And it wasn't diagnosed properly. So
Right.
it
Yeah. It was
kind of,
overdiagnosed in the 90s.
yeah, so it's kind of like, autism nowadays.
Yeah,
Oh,
where it's just completely overdiagnosed.
your kid's not paying attention.
Mhm.
Oh, he's autistic. No, it's not the fact that the teachers aren't doing their fucking jobs properly. They're too busy trying to teach him that he's in the wrong fucking body and stuff instead of teaching him how to read and write. No, 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 no. He's autistic. Fucking, and they've just recognised now that there's an epidemic of autistic kids that fucking, where the fuck did all of this shit come from?
Right.
Partially, it's also the fact too that on the spectrum, they've like with cancers, they've figured out that there's
Yeah.
far more varying specific types of cancer and stuff like that. And I remember too, back in my day,
Um,
a lot of cancers were just like old age because they couldn't
yes, and
really.
another thing that neuroscience is starting to publish more is I've been reading a lot of studies that suggest suggest this isn't medical information, but I've been reading a lot of studies that suggest that everybody is autistic to some point, to
Yeah,
some degree. And the measurement of autism is like human.
yeah, everyone's fallible. But
Yeah.
with the whole fucking getting the fucking surgeries and shit like that, they fuck it up almost all the time. And the people figure out after they've had the surgery that, like, well, they've been lied to for a start. There's no feeling down there. All their nerves are fucked. They're incontinent. They're constantly having to have antibiotics to prevent infections. They've got to have fucking dilators to keep the hole open. If they forget that, it just closes up and they've wasted their time with the surgery. They got to
Right.
have fucking things to make lubricants and stuff like that, so it doesn't fucking just start sticking to itself on the inside. It doesn't stretch like it's supposed to, so they can't even have a root. In a lot of cases, there's like bowel complaints where they're like bowel incontinence.
Mhm.
So they're not just pissing themselves; they're shit themselves as well.
Yeah.
Even
There's
perforated
also
bowels.
the
Also,
dilation problem.
yeah, and they're literally on a laundry basket, like a proper full fucking laundry basket. Fucking not as an analogy in actual. I've actually seen someone fucking present a basket full of the fucking medications they've
Yeah.
got to be on just to fucking stop them from fucking reversing the surgery and dying and shit like that. And they're like, it's not fucking worth it. But these dumb cunts who have not gone through the surgery yet and don't know it for themselves, who have been brainwashed into thinking they're in the wrong body, fucking just bloody demonize these cunts. You don't know, you're just anti this and anti that, you're homophobic, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of these cunts who have gone through the surgery realise that now they've mutilated their bodies and sterilised themselves. Their lives are fucked forever. And they just, like,
Mhm.
that usually makes them take themselves out the fucking gene pool.
The treatment is usually what and there's a lot of studies to suggest this as well. So again, this isn't medical advice, this isn't medical information. This is scientific studies that have been published recently that suggest that affirming treatment especially for teens and young adults, is what's actually sending these people to uh,
Delete themselves.
to the farm upstate.
Yep.
There.
Yeah.
I said it in a
And
YouTube friendly manner. So if you got a problem with it, YouTube, suck my hairy nads.
well, the correct term is control or delete themselves.
Mhm.
But
Alt F4.
literally, it's fucking deprogramming them like anyone that you rescue from a
Right.
cult. You got to fucking just convince them that they've been fucking misled and all this kind of shit. And especially if they haven't had the surgery yet, the world's not over and they're actually beneficial. Better off not doing it in the first place. And maybe even teach them how to
Yeah.
write their own fucking name for a start.
Yeah. Can we talk a minute about the Screen Act and every other country's like attempt to do something similar? Because I think it's the most Orwellian shit ever.
Oh, you got to
You,
see how he carrying.
you've got to be 18 plus to go look at porn or look at this website that talks about guns or talks about medical stuff, or is a study website, or is this or that and the other thing. And in the fucking UK, you can be 16 years old and ship out to go shoot someone in the fucking eyeballs. I think it's the same. I think it's the same age in Australia, isn't it? 16?
um, well, you see, we don't
Or did it
actually have
get
it
raised?
yet. So you can be fucking 10 years old and just look up Pornhub
Okay,
and you'll
so
find it.
there's no
And
age limit in Australia.
nah, and the only thing we've realistically got at the moment is like there's a screen that says, "You promise you're 18, right?"
Right.
Yes.
Hmm.
Fucking.
Um and this bullshit is just dumb. Um this is put forward by people who honestly have no idea how technology works, and they
Mhm.
are oblivious to the weekly data breaches that happen. YouTube alone has a data breach every month. YouTube alone. How fucked is that?
Fucking. Here's our e-safety fucking stupid bint fucking slag.
Oh yeah,
Hang on,
I've
I'm
seen
trying to.
her.
Okay. Fucking skinwalker. Like she literally looks like a card carrying
Farty,
member of the US Democrat Party.
Farty.
Yeah.
You shouldn't insult the skinwalkers like that. Okay, they might be nightmarish creatures from an entirely different realm, but they do deserve some dignity to keep their identity.
Just look at this bitch's eyes.
Yes, yes, I know. You can call her a Democrat because that would be fair, but I don't think it's fair to insult the skinwalkers.
Let's see. Fucking
That
like
one over.
she looks like she's wearing an ill-fitting fucking skin suit.
It does. It
And
really
it's like
does. But I
most of
think
these
that's just because she's Australia's version of a Democrat.
well, yeah, and fucking that's what
Mm.
I find about the fucking most of the fucking cunts in the Democrat Party is like, what's wrong with your face? Like they got wonky eyes or wonky
Right?
mouths or their
How do
fucking
you
nose
walk
is
around?
crooked.
I, Let me ask this question. All right, there's going to be a visual component to it. How do you walk around like this all the time?
Well, it's not just the bug eyes. Like literally, it looks like she's like got a fucking mask on, and it's like there's another fucking face underneath it. Like you look at that Kathy Hochul fucking Sheila, and she's
Hmm.
the bloody same thing too. She looks like she's fucking decomposing in full view. Fucking Hunter Biden looks like he's had a fucking stroke when he smiles. One side of his mouth goes up, one side goes down. Fucking and Joe Biden's got a fucking nutsack for a fucking chin. Looks like he's fucking wearing a skin suit. There's a whole bunch of other cunts and just like yeah, you can tell they're Democrats because they've all got wonky fucking faces. Um,
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
but
our
aside
e-safety
from the
commissioner, it's
aside from
not only is she a clueless cunt, but she's also turns out that she wanted to be the next J.K. Rowling's on fucking YouTube Kids, and
Mhm,
fucking she couldn't make a fucking cent out of it. So that's partially the reason why she's going after YouTube.
right. And aside from looks, like this is just idiocy. You're being forced to hand over every a bit of information you have. And this is the most Orwellian shit ever because this stuff gets leaked all the time.
Mm.
And it's going to become the death knell of the internet. The internet is going to become so bogged down by restrictions and rules, no one is going to use it anymore, which is a fucking shame because YouTube will die, right? YouTube will die, Discord will die, every online thing will die. And I
Well,
think it's the most the I think the internet is the largest resource anyone can have for learning anything. It is a great tool for learning anything. It's a great tool for connecting with other people and sharing ideas. And granted, we have spread so far apart from the connecting with other people and sharing ideas and coming together as a species. But that's largely because of the way our politicians have fucking um manipulated everything behind the scenes in favor of getting themselves, reelected. It's in the way our media production companies want to sell a narrative so they can keep faces glued to the screen. It's the most brain dead, blindest take that you can ever have to go, well, it's a good idea because we'll be protecting the children. You're not protecting the children. If anything, you're putting them in more danger by having their parents' personal information out there. Because what's to stop a motherfucker from like Somali, right? Walking into your house now. He's got your address. He knows that you have 6 kids. This is a hyperbolic example,
well, it's even more in depth than that.
but
Because we've
no,
got
I
leaked
know.
emails. We got leaked emails from this bitch that fucking tie her to fucking things like USAID, and that she's actually
Mm,
fucking trying to do some fucking form of censorship thing as an
right.
anti-Trump fucking thing.
Right,
So
yeah.
she's not there fucking for very much longer. But like, I honestly think that the internet and now AI is probably the worst fucking things we ever bloody did. Because yeah, naively they thought, oh yeah, the information age and treasure trove of technology at your fingertips, but that just meant that fucking cunts aren't learning shit for themselves. They're just like relying on the fact that, oh, if I need to look something up, I can just do so.
Well, the same argument could be made for like an encyclopedia. Because you think about it, the internet is the world's largest encyclopedia. Yes, it has a couple of other features,
Mm.
but it is in fact the world's largest encyclopedia, and it was always meant to be the world's largest encyclopedia. I can access the Library of Congress right now without having to drive to fucking DC. That's halfway across the country for me, you
Mm.
know? I don't have to go to the actual Library of Congress. I can just fucking
Well,
email them and go, "Hey, send me a thing," and they'll send me a thing.
we'll take GPS for example. Like I
Right.
come from a pre-GPS era where you used to have to do map to compass navigation, and
Mhm.
even when GPS first came in, barring fucking selective availability, which isn't a thing anymore, but yeah, the adage was like, well, what happens if fucking nuclear war kicks off? Because we've been trained for Cold War big battle fucking warfare back then. Um, and EMPs hit and they take out all the satellites and stuff, and you don't have GPS.
Right.
That's what we're being taught for. You'll have to learn this and know this. And fucking, if you're stuck out in the middle of fucking nowhere and you don't have a GPS signal or anything like that, you're gonna have to figure it out and find your way around. And it's sort of what why we used to train people up to do shit. And now it's a case of, oh, we don't have to know how to read a street direction because the fucking GPS
Right.
tells
Yeah.
me exactly where to go with a vocal fucking prompt and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Um,
I
and
still
AI is
stand.
even worse because
Yeah.
now AI would actually do the fucking work for you. So instead of actually having to go and look something up and finding out how the buddy the way a library actually works to find the book that
Right.
you actually need to get the information, now it's just a case of, oh, Grok, can you find me this information?
And in a lot of instances, that information may or may not be factual. So you have to,
Exactly.
and people aren't like they're just trusting it. So they're not doing the footwork to like find out if the information is in fact completely factual.
And
Um,
that's another thing there too. Like say with YouTube, I think I brought this up on a previous show, but there's this channel called Banded Brothers TV,
right. Yeah, yeah.
and they're using AI to fucking pretend that they've found new information and new interviews and stuff with the guys that were there. Now they're all dead, and you can't go and ask them. But fucking cunts will come along and just lap that shit up and not know the difference.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a text from my brother. I gotta
Mm,
respond to. All right. So yes, I agree with you. Um, in that regard, but I still stand by the open book test argument, because the same argument could be made of like actual encyclopedias. Now the problem with the actual encyclopedias is that human knowledge isn't finite, meaning
no,
we're still learning new things every day as a species.
mm,
Um the brightest of us, the most intelligent of us are also the dumbest of us sometimes, but that's an aside. And they do figure out things. And that information needs to get updated from time to time. The problem is we live in an information age where you can't trust the information. Um
or
because
being actively censored,
what's that?
or being actively censored.
Right. So the information you're getting is either, like you said, actively censored, or it's presented in a way as if to skew or bend it to a particular narrative.
Yeah,
And
perfect example. My fucking idiot Dr. Mongo. I'm telling him, go and look up what the fucking oncologists are saying, what the cardiologists are saying, what the geneticists are saying, and all this shit that they're finding out about the Wu flu jab.
right,
He's flatly refusing to even entertain the thought. And I'm like, no, don't go fucking looking up Alex Jones. Go look up fucking cunts with PhDs who are screaming their fucking heads off about all of this.
right,
Oh no, because I've been told by the stupid fucking bitch that came out and said, "Oh, the thing's safe and effective and all this kind of stuff," when it clearly fucking isn't, and that didn't do the testing that we were supposed to fucking do ourselves, and completely forgotten about fucking thalidomide because I had to fucking explain that to him as well.
right.
Um, no, I'm going to listen to that
It's
fucking dumb cunt cow because she said if anybody comes along and says anything otherwise, well, they're a conspiracy theorist, and that's just like
it's
that
not
fucking
at
kid back
all
in school who used to get bullied and fucking said he beat the bully up on the weekend and said, "Oh no, don't go ask the bully because he'll just deny it." You know
right.
what the fuck?
It's not at all uncommon and not at all unlike when what the fuck was it called? The Some of the first statin drugs came out, right?
Mm,
Cholesterol management drugs came out. It's not at all uncommon that people were bleeding rectally from
mm,
it. And rectal bleeding was like a huge concern on it. Yet the AMA and other organizations, especially, pharmaceutical companies, wanted to keep that hush hush because they wanted to keep selling it. The FDA is partially funded by pharmaceutical companies as dictated. This is something a lot of people don't realize, that pharmaceutical companies are funded partially as dictated by federal law. And that dictation was made so that the pharmaceutical companies would be held to um how do I put this? Would be held responsible, right? They'd have some sort of responsibility held to them. And fast forward to now, and all that law has done was given pharmaceutical pharmaceutical companies a legal loophole to influence the FDA. And so they can, they can definitely go, you know what, we'll bump up how much money we give you guys uh to to do this, that, and the other thing. If you just look the other way on this drug, we assure you it's perfectly safe. We've done our own internal investigation. Here's some pseudoscience bullshit to kind of obfuscate things. So we're just gonna, give you this information. Um, it's only coming out recently within the last 10-15 years that statin drugs can lead to intestinal bleeding.
Mm.
And they're starting to be a little more honest about it, and they're starting to be. Why? Because they've already made their millions off of it. They don't give a shit now. They could switch to another drug. They want to switch to another drug. They want to switch to something else. And that something else is there to make more money off of. It's
Yeah.
like when early studies came out during COVID that ivermectin was helpful against the COVID, that it would help you, like, help your uh uh immune system cope better, right?
Yeah.
They censored it. They censored it. And they stopped selling it almost completely here in the United States. And if they didn't stop selling it in certain areas, they jacked the prices up so much that insurance companies wouldn't cover it. And it got buried. It wasn't until after COVID was no longer a problem that that ivermectin was then championed by the very people who demonized it. You had Chris Cuomo coming out going, "Oh, well, he's telling you to take horse dewormer because it's a thing."
Well,
No,
that kind of fucking pissed me off there too, because no one got the
Mm.
whole point of that fucking argument.
Right.
Okay, so there's two versions of ivermectin. There's a human version and then
Mhm.
there is a veterinary version, right?
Right.
Too much of anything can be toxic and poisonous to people,
Correct.
and
Water
you
can be
do
toxic and poisonous to you if you drink too much of it. That's a real thing.
exactly,
Look it up.
exactly. So what people were doing was they're like, oh well, I can't get a prescription for ivermectin from my doctor, so I'll just go and grab the big fucking giant tube from the vet and then fucking down that bloody thing, which is the thing you weren't supposed to do.
Right.
And
Um,
it's supposed to work on your body weight.
right.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's the dosage, and that's where you should. Yeah, you have to go and actually get your doctor to fucking give you the correct
Correct.
dosage. Now you
Correct.
had fucking the argument with Joe Rogan and the fucking news, where fucking Joe Rogan was saying, "Oh yeah, 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 ivermectin, da 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 da," and then the news was going, "Horse demon," and they weren't saying that there was a human preparation for it, but fucking Joe
Right.
Rogan wasn't making the discretion between the human preparation and the veterinary version.
Right.
So
Because
that
the veterinary version has less filler in it than the human version. The
well,
filler,
the veterinary version was supposed to do a 2-ton fucking horse, not a fucking
right.
200 kilo human.
Right. That's because there was less filler in it. It was more concentrated
Yeah,
than the human version. The human version has way more filler in it, and the parts per million or milligram count, depending on how you're looking at it, um, is significantly lower than that of a horse's dosage.
and that's also where the discussion started getting a bit fucking dangerous because like they were just throwing that shit around and
Mhm.
fucking, people were just acting on their own. And
Right.
realistically, the reason that Joe Rogan did take ivermectin was because he'd heard that that's what ICE was giving fucking migrants when they were coming across the border. And he reckoned his doctor gave him ivermectin too because of
Right.
it. And I'm like, no, Joe, just fucking admit
And
you had fucking worms,
the
right? Because
right.
that's the only reason why his doctor would have given it to him, and the only reason why they give like ivermectin plus a bunch of other shit to people coming across the border is basic delousing.
Exactly, yeah. And the biggest thing is during COVID, and I don't wanna dwell on this, I'm just going to bring this up as a point. During COVID, they were ushering, like, we've seen video of it, of, ICE ushering, people in,
Mm,
and they're holding the fence open with fucking front end loaders and everything,
yep.
or backhoes, and earth movers and shit, and they were just holding the fence open and guiding people in. Yeah, come on in if you want this, that, and the other thing. And they were giving them injections of ivermectin, at the behest of the fucking president, at the behest of Joe Biden, at the behest of his administration at the very least, because they knew ivermectin fucking worked. But yet they went on the air and go, it doesn't work. It's not for people.
Well,
And
okay. Then
again, it's
again,
because they
too.
weren't making the distinction between the equine version and the human version.
But then again, too, right? It shouldn't have worked on face value for the simple reason that ivermectin is a anti-parasitic, not an antiviral.
Right.
It's,
But
that's its components shouldn't work like that. But
but
now
there's
they've had a look at it, and now they've found that it actually does.
right. They understand that it operates in a human's bloodstream slightly different than they anticipated.
But what actually would have been a better option is actually simply vitamin D.
Right. And a lot of doctors did suggest taking ivermectin alongside vitamin D because the two would help your immune system cope better. And
Yep.
it wasn't like this is going to cure you. It was more of a this will help your system cope with the disease if you get sick. Um,
Best analogy for game, like using a gaming analogy, right? And this was also the argument with that too. But
mhm,
but vitamin D only gives you a little bit of fucking blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, so but you'll play a fucking game where you encrust your fucking sword with a fucking jewel that gives it point 0.5 XP or some fucking shit like that and call that fucking an upgrade. Well, that's exactly what fucking vitamin D was doing. Okay, it gives you, mightn't do much, but it's an improvement on what you were.
right. It's
And I've
a
got the
little
same,
bit more than what you already had.
yeah,
Um,
I got the same argument when fucking Sierra Leone went through Ebola,
mhm.
because by that time the
Oh
boat
god, I
that we'd
remember
scored,
that.
yeah, the boat that we'd scored them, the Isle of Man, actually chased the Chinese out, and then the local fishermen were able to go back to
Isn't
fishing.
isn't
Huh?
that what the movie Outbreak was based on?
No,
Was
no, no, no,
was
no,
because
that's decades before that. Oh, yeah, it was based
it
on
was based
Ebola,
on
but it wasn't.
Ebola.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't based on the Sierra Leone
No,
outbreak
no,
though.
no, it was based on what was it, in the Amazon? That big
Mm,
outbreak that happened in fucking oh,
oh,
no,
it was South America.
yeah, it was an outbreak in New Jersey that they wanted to stop.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, okay, I
So
remember. Mm,
even though Ebola is fucking like virulously fatal and all this kind of stuff,
mhm.
I'd put it to you that the simple act of allowing the fishermen going back to fishing and catching enough fish that there was so much in abundance that everyone could afford to eat protein again, put them in a better, healthy sort of position to
Right.
have watered it off a little bit better than what they would have if the Chinese were still fishing out the coast to the point
Mm,
that there was no fish around and everyone was fucking basically, starving and shit and not having a protein high diet.
right.
But another example of fucking like why you need to go and look up shit yourself and fucking be abreast of information without having to rely on needing it when you only need it is say like, yeah, I was involved in an explosion back in the RFS, and it's a confined
Right.
spaces explosion, and
Farty almost blew himself up, if you're wondering.
and giant fucking knuckle dragging Neanderthal ex nomad bikies called Jimbo make really great blast shields. Anyway, fucking but
Was
like
that the
pressure
kangaroo
waves.
incident or no?
No. This was
It was
the
something
smoke.
else.
We fucked up in the smokehouse.
Right.
We only supposed to put a couple of pallets in there and a
Yeah.
little bit of drip torch fuel to get it going, make a bit of smoke and a bit of heat and stuff like that. We put 10 pallets in there and a full jerry can of fucking drip torch fuel in there and wonder why the place was full of fumes and went woof.
Mhm. I
Um,
wonder.
yeah, it was one of the points where like everyone was exploding. It was presumed dead for a little bit. Um, anyway, fucking so Israel had been researching blast effect on the human body for a fair while by that point, and I'd been made aware of like, yeah, okay, yeah, like in some cases, the blast effect can liquefy your insides and all this kind of
Right.
shit, but leave your outsides completely fine. And that's how the Israelis sort of started. They stumbled across it because there was a bunch of suicide bombings where, deletion bombings where
Mhm.
they'd found victims with no marks on them or anything like that. And they were like, well, how come this bastard's dead? And they cut them open. And it was just like, yeah, all their innards had gone splat.
Yeah.
Um, and Eldritch God was talking to me one day and he just went, hey, it's a stupid question. Have you been involved in an explosion? And I'm like, yeah, why? And he goes, oh, you're displaying signs and symptoms of fucking guys who've been involved in IEDs early in the GWAT. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And it's only been in the last month or so that the health department in Australia are now sort of going, well, we're now going to start recognising blast effect on humans from
Right.
war veterans and shit like that. And I'm like, oh great, because well we fucking kind of covered that fucking incident up, so that's just one more thing I'm getting fucked over on.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Farty.
But
Um,
fucking that's something I've already known. I've been trying to tell my doctor for years. Yeah, look up fucking blast effect on humans. This is why I'm so fucked up in the head.
yeah. But
Uh, I haven't been told about it yet, so I'm not going to do my homework. Great.
yeah, exactly. Do your own research. Please, for the love of God. Trust but verify. All right, that's the scientific method. Trust but verify.
Don't rely on fucking
Mm.
Chat GPT or fucking anything like that.
You can get primary information from ChatGPT, but always double check. If you ask ChatGPT what color the sky is and it says blue, double fucking check that the sky
You got a
is in
window?
fact
Open
blue.
it.
Fucking look out the window exactly. Um but I think we're going to leave things here today. We'll be back maybe tomorrow, maybe. I don't know what I've got going on. Um but we will be back either tomorrow or by Wednesday. And we'll see you then.